Hey everybody, Tony here, and welcome to another episode of TTBurger Game Reviews. Today, I want to talk about something in gaming that pretty much annoys me and stuff, and it's still going on to this day, and I want to talk about it here. The thing I want to talk about here is that what annoys me is that, there are games that come out that do something original, different from, the mainstream media games and stuff like that, and then when it does something original and new, and people end up liking it, mainly a lot of modern gamers and critics and stuff will bash it and not even give the game a chance because they don't like how it's different or how it changes stuff from other games and such, and the games end up getting shunned by them and such. And you're probably wondering, where am I going with this? Well, as you all know, that Heavenly Sword was the very first PS3 game I ever got when I mentioned that in my Heavenly Sword review. But today, I want to talk about my second game I ever got for my PlayStation 3 when I got my PS3 around Christmas of 2007, and that game is Lair by Factor 5 on the PlayStation 3. Now, when I first heard about this game, I was following the trailers and everything, and I thought, whoa, this looks really cool. This looks like Star Wars Rogue Squadron, because Factor 5 made Star Wars Rogue Squadron games, but instead you're riding on a dragon and stuff like that. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. I mean, look at the graphics and stuff. Look how cool this looks. And it really caught my attention because you were riding on a dragon the whole time and stuff, and killing enemies and stuff, and it looked really awesome. And I played it, and it looked awesome. But before I played the game, I was almost completely shocked when I saw the scores that GameSpot and IGN and Game Trailers gave it, and they gave the game, and they were giving the game 4s and 5s out of 10s and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, why so low scores? What the heck is wrong with the game? I mean, it looks great and stuff, but then I found out the reason why they were bashing it, and when I found out the reason why they were bashing it, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. This is the reason why they're bashing the damn game? You gotta be kidding me. I'll explain more about this in a little bit, but right now, let's get into the nitty-gritty and start things off with talking about the story. Now, the story of Lair takes place in a world threatened by numerous volcanoes, causing much of the land to be destroyed and the air to be polluted. As a result, the people native to the world divided themselves into two kingdoms, the Molkai and the Asilians. The Molkai has their land arid and depleted of resources, and the Asilians live in the last remaining green area full of grass and trees and stuff. And it pretty much talks about the war between the Asilians and the Molkai and stuff, and that's basically what the gist of the story is. But the whole plot revolves around the main character, Roan, who was one of the dragon riders of the Asilians, and it pretty much follows what happens with him during the war and stuff. I mean, it's not the most original story ever, but it works in its own way. And I gotta admit, it's one of the best stories ever in a video game, and I gotta say that, it works really well. And I don't really have much else to say about it. If you want to hear more about the story, go watch a YouTube video about it. This is a review. I'm not gonna waste many minutes or so talking about it, so that's all I gotta say about that. But as for the game's presentation, this is where the game really shines. I mean, this is one of the things that actually the critics praise and stuff, because the strong production values. I mean, if you look at the graphics here and stuff like that, this game came out in late 2007, and this game looks 10 times better than most Call of Duty games made these days and stuff like that. I mean, look at the character model, especially on the creatures like the dragon you ride and stuff like that, and the characters in the cutscenes and stuff, and you'll be amazed that this game's graphics still really hold up to this day. Now, I will admit, yes, there were some frame rate issues and stuff like that when the game came out. There were a lot of bugs when this came out, but a lot of them have been ironed out, and even when the bugs were there, it didn't really affect the game for me at all, because I just focused on playing the game, and that was basically it. So yeah, the graphics do really get the job done, and it still really stand up to this day. And as for sound is also amazing. I mean, the music reminds you of basically Star Wars, but takes place in the medieval time with dragons and stuff like that. And it really, and you can tell it's got that Factor 5 music feel to it, because if you compare the music to Star Wars Rogue Squadron games to this, they definitely have a very close comparison to one another and stuff. The voice acting in the game is also fantastic. It's some of the best voice acting you'll ever hear in a PS3 game, let alone video game in general. Now, like, the other sounds, like the fire breathing and like the water moving and like the explosions and stuff like that, they sound good, but there's no really need to talk about them because like we don't want really need to waste time talking about like little things like that. But all the sound is fantastic. Now for the gameplay, this is where people mainly bitch non-stop. People bitch non-stop about the gameplay, and you wanna know why people were bitching about the game? Because when the game first came out, you had to control the dragon using the 6-axis tilt function on the PS3 controller, where you tilt the controller to the left to move left, or tilt it right to move right, or push it up to do a U-turn, or push it forward to do a boost and stuff like that. And to me, I really liked it because it added realism. It was supposed to make you feel like you were riding a dragon, but people had to bitch about it. And I know Army21 said this in his review of Lair. People were bitching about it because like, why can I use analog sticks? This is bullshit. I shouldn't have to use this. Whatever happened to using the analog stick and stuff? Maybe they wanted to try something different. I mean, maybe they wanted to try something different. The problem is that like the critics and a lot of gamers didn't want to bother to take the time to try and get used to this function, but instead they had to bitch and moan and just not give it a try. And because of that, they said the game sucked, and that's why I got all the low scores and stuff. And here's the funny thing: there was an update available that fixed a lot of the bugs and stuff like that, and they added an option to use the analog sticks. And you know what happened? People still bitch about it. They still bitched about it, and they kept bitching about it. They say, oh, they put analog controls in there, but it's too late. The damage has already been done. It should have been done since day one. This is where people failed to understand this game. It was supposed to make you feel like you were riding a dragon. That's what it was supposed to be like. You're supposed to feel like you're riding a dragon. You're supposed to feel like Rowan is on the dragon. I mean, Factor 5 wanted to do something different, and to me, it succeeded. But because the critics and a lot of mainstream gamers these days don't like challenging their games, the only type of challenge they like is like stuff you see in Call of Duty, where you're wounded, just take cover behind a rock and wait for yourself to heal. And that is a problem, a rampant problem here. And this is kind of going off topic here a little bit, but if people would have gave this game a chance, it would have got much higher scores. It's unfair bashing, and people on GameFAQs agree with the critics too. And I just don't understand. How can you sit there and agree with this here when they wanted to do something original and different? I mean, like, it's fun. It's like doing your own, and you also can have a lot to do for your missions here too. You can like attack from the air, or you can land on like the ground and kill the enemies, even for like a snack to like gain health and like tail whack them or smash it or like swipe them away or so. You're in control of how you do the missions. And sure, like I will admit right now the game is not very long. You can pretty much beat the game in like 8 to 10 hours or so like that. And some of the missions can be pretty hard, but here's the thing. This is hard the challenge way. It's not the way it was in fucking Criticom, where it was hard the frustrating way where it didn't give you a chance to like win or anything like that. Here you actually have a chance, and here you gotta use your head wondering, how am I going to beat the level? But then like it's called challenge. It's something that a lot of games these days lack. And yet, it cracks me up that like, even when the critics and reviewers were saying good things about the game, they end up saying, well, it should have done this. Like, perfect example. Well, the music is awesome, but you'll be too distracted with what's going on in the game, with all the problems, to even hear the music and stuff. Oh, the creatures look amazing and stuff like that, but the explosions look bad. All they do is just like, when something explodes, they just like disappear and pop away and stuff. Who say this to me? It's like they're trying to find every single thing to nitpick about this game to make it seem worse than it is. Well, let me tell you something. I've played the game, and I got to mission 12 on a mission 14 because I'm stuck at the part. But yeah, you should beat the game before you review it. But I got very far. The game actually has a lot of variety in it. Like, some of them involve sneaking and stealth. Some of them involve just like mindless killing the enemies at a decent time and stuff like that. You have a variety of objectives to do, and some of them require you to protect like a bridge or an army or something like that. It's called variety. and that's why I like the game. I mean, to me, since I was a big fan of the Rogue Squadron games, mainly Star Wars Rogue Leader, Rogue Squadron 2, and I feel like that Factor 5 did a lot with this game, and they should be proud of themselves. But sadly, this was the last game Factor 5 would ever make because of all the negative response that the critics gave it and gamers gave it and stuff. They got shut down, and that's sad because, I mean, this game does not deserve all the hate. But it did, because people don't like challenge these days. People just want to just mindless shoot people, just go behind cover, that's all the challenge they want, and they don't want any challenge stuff. This is the type of game that's for actual gamers who like challenge. And you know, and by the way, I may want to say something. I know my quality, my footage here may look a little dark at times, may not look so HD looking. It's just that I'm still getting used to like using the Razor Ripsaw, with trying to get it to work with HDMI stuff like that, but I'm still trying to get better at it. So if the quality doesn't look so great and it looks kind of dark, I do apologize for that. But that's pretty much all I gotta say about this game. I mean, like, it's just a shame that games like this get all negative criticism, while other games that like Call of Duty and stuff get all the same love and praise they do each year. Sounds like that more than a popularity contest, but whatever. But now for my final rating on the game, it goes like this. Pick this game up. If you can find it, it's very cheap now. It's like $3-4. And if you own a PS3, buy it because you'll get your money's worth. A lot of the problems that were in the game have been fixed and stuff like that. And so, if you really want a good game where it requires challenge and test your skills and stuff, then get this game. You will not be disappointed. What will be the rating I give it? Well, I will admit that, yeah, like, the frame rate can snag up a little bit and stuff like that, but if you don't count that though, I'm gonna take some points off for it though. But I'll be giving the game a 9.5 out of 10. It's an awesome game, definitely pick it up. That's all I gotta say. This is Tony, peace and out.